Are you ready for the most successful year of your life? Welcome to Astrology by 33. It's an honor to have you here today. Let's dive into your 2026 Capricorn horoscope and break it down super simple. We'll go over your money, health, career, and love life, plus what you need to focus on to make this the best year ever. What opportunities will Capricorn have in 2026? This isn't just your sun sign. This is your rising sign or your ascendant. Your rising sign sets the stage for how the stars align with your houses. This video is your 2026 roadmap to unlock your maximum potential. Okay, so let's start with the good stuff. Jupiter is the planet that gives the most blessings and everything good in life. It's your overall prosperity and success. Jupiter moves into the sign of Cancer from June 1st through around October 30th, 2026. This is the sign where Jupiter gets exalted, and it only happens every 12 years. So it's a very special time in astrology. When Jupiter gets exalted, he's in his most powerful and righteous position. This is the point where he's the strongest. And this happens in your 7th house. This is the house of marriage and of love and romance, of business, shopping, and your business partners. So this is the time for romance for you. If you're thinking of getting married or finding the love of your life, this is the perfect time for that. The energy is as good as it's gonna get for this type of thing. Or if you want to make that amazing business deal, now is the time. Or if you're in show business or the movie business, this is the time when that film or show will take off and do really well. Jupiter is an expansive energy. He makes things grow. He's positive and optimistic, and he does all that in this house. So out of all the zodiac signs this year, you have it the best for love and romance and business. So you may want to cash in on that opportunity. Now let's move on to the other really good planet, Venus. She's the planet of love and money. Venus moves into your 6th house from around May 13 through June 7. The 6th house is your house of health, of your daily routine, and being organized. It's the house of divisions. This is a great placement for Venus because she's with her best friend Mercury, who's in its own sign of Gemini. And there's no bad aspect here on these planets. So you can take this time to really work on your health. Are you eating a healthy diet? Sometimes it's easy to get a little bit lazy with our health practices, and during this time it should be easier. So if you want to start a new habit in your daily routine, something healthy, something that can last for a lifetime that you know that's good for you, this would be a great time to start a new habit. You have everything in your favor to make it happen here. Then on June 8th through July 3rd, Venus moves into your 7th house, and she's there with your exalted Jupiter like we talked about earlier. So if you really want to refine your calendar and the specific dates of your love life, this is going to be that amped up. You have the 3 best planets in astrology all in one house. That's Venus and Mercury and exalted Jupiter. That's a win-win-win, especially in the house of love. So I really hope you have a wonderful year because it looks like it's going to be very romantic, or amazing business deals, or all the above. So if you want to plan that romantic vacation to Paris, this is the time. Lucky you. And I hope you have fun whatever you do. Also, these 3 planets have no bad aspect from Mars or Saturn, so it's extra good. Okay, now this one you should pay attention to because it's about your career. So Venus enters your 10th house on September 2nd and stays there through around November 4th. This is a really good placement for her because she's in her own sign of Libra. So she's considered strong, and you'll feel the benefit. And she's also with her best friend Mercury, so it's like 2 best friends at work. The energy's a lot of fun and should feel really good at work. But during this time, we do have an aspect from Mars on that house, so that can make the results not as good. Just be careful during that time because things could get a little bit heated once in a while from Mars, or miscommunication, or just be a little bit in your face, you know what I mean? Sometimes Mars can put a damper on your party, but it's not going to be all the time. So this is the good thing and what you should look out for. So Venus retrogrades back into your 9th house on November 5, but then she comes back into your 10th house on November 22nd, and she stays there. Now this is the good time for your career, extra good, because Mars is no longer aspecting your career house, and Venus will stay in your 10th house for the rest of the year. So she's giving you strong and positive career energy for a few months towards the end of the year. So you can look forward to peace and harmony at work, things going well. Venus here can bring money in work. It's a great time for contracts, for business contacts. It's excellent for customer service and anything to do with business relationships, and a great time for communication in the workplace. So that's the good stuff. Let's move on to the neutral planet, Mercury, and see what it has in store for you for 2026. Mercury takes on the energy of whoever it's around, so it can be bad or good, or somewhere in between. Mercury goes retrograde 3 times in 2026, so it's always good to check and make sure we're extra clear in our communication. It's better to over-communicate instead of not enough. We need to remember that most people don't read minds and they appreciate details. Even if it's obvious to us, it's not always to them. Communication is the backbone of our society. What we say makes a big difference, and how we say it. Most people can pick up on a snotty tone or even apathy, so we need to watch our words. And let's move on to Mars next. What is he doing for you in 2026? Mars gets exalted in the sign of Capricorn, and so you should definitely be feeling this energy. When Mars is exalted, he's considered his strongest and his most powerful, and his energy is more likely to show up in the physical dimension. Mars moves into your 1st house from January 15 through around February 21st, and he gets exalted there. So be on the lookout for that in the beginning of the year. Not only that, but he's going to be there with the Sun and Venus and Mercury. So there's a lot of energy going on. You may feel some mixed emotions during this time, but don't worry because it'll pass. When you have 4 planets in your ascendant, how could you not feel that? The 1st house is you. It's your body, your personality, your happiness, health, and everything that makes you, you. So with these 4 planets, it's like a mixed fruit basket. So if you feel a little scattered, that's why. Not everybody likes bananas. This would also be a good time to make sure you're taking care of your health. Because the 1st house is your body, just make sure you're doing everything you know possible to stay healthy. Try not to eat too much junk food or sugar or cheeseburgers. And physical health gets a lot of attention today, as it should, but also remember to take care of your mental health because the 1st house is your happiness. Then Mars moves into your 2nd house from February 22nd through April 1st. And again, the whole gang of planets follows Mars there, similar to what was going on in your 1st house. But now you also have Rahu, so that can get crazy. The 2nd house is your family, so don't get in a fight with them during this time. The energy is all over the place. It's also the house of money and finance, so make sure you're really responsible with your money during this time and don't go on any spending sprees. Now let's move on to your Saturn in 2026. Saturn is the lord of karma. All the planets actually dish out karma, but Saturn is the main planet of karma itself. Now, just because Saturn is the lord of karma doesn't mean you're gonna have karma there. You only get the effects if there's something you've done in the past that you need to pay for today. So always be nice to people. Saturn can bring restrictions and obstacles. He can slow you down if he wants to. He can bring you challenges. Now, Saturn is extra important to you because he's your ascendant lord. Saturn rules Capricorn, so you'll definitely be feeling this energy. Now, Saturn stays in your 3rd house all year, and this should be nothing new to you because Saturn was there through 2025 already. You should be familiar with the energy. The third house is communication, your siblings, your courage and action. It's the stuff you actually do in the real world. And you as a Capricorn, the third house is important because Capricorn is about building and structure. These are the works you show the world, the stuff that you've made. And the third house is your action, your ability to create those things. Saturn is about discipline. So if you felt a little bit held back and you're not able to make things happen the way you want to, Saturn here in your house of action wants you to be more disciplined. Saturn is also structure. So maybe part of the reason you haven't been able to get things done or to make things happen is because of discipline, which is a very high and divine quality. Saturn here in your third house also could make you feel a little bit reserved. Maybe it's been harder for you lately to take those actions that you know you need to take. But Saturn can be our greatest teacher. So if you don't know what to do, write down your problem, put it down on paper, and then write down, what are the next steps I need to take to make this happen? And write those down. And make sure there's steps that you can actually take, something realistic that you could do today or tomorrow. And then look at your schedule and write it in, not just once, but for as long as it takes to get it done. Saturn is about repeating something over and over and over again. It's about patience and endurance. That's why Saturn stays in a sign for 2.5 years. He's not in a hurry to get anything done. He says, don't be hasty. He wants you to have some discipline here. He wants to teach you how to take action, but not all at once or once in a while. He wants you to be disciplined and to set up some structure for yourself. This is the house of courage, but Saturn here is not giving you courage. He's here to give you structure. So if you focus more on that during this year, you will reap great rewards. See how the farmer waits for the valuable fruit of the earth, waiting patiently for it until it receives the early and latter rain. I just wanted to let you know that this video is based on the sidereal zodiac. I mostly use Vedic astrology principles for all of my astrology work. So if you follow Western astrology and you're a Capricorn, that means you're probably a Sagittarius in Vedic astrology. So you may want to check out the Sagittarius video to see if you resonate more with that energy. Thanks for subscribing and liking this video.